Hi everyone, it's Az here from HeelvsBabyface. If you have followed my channel for any length of time, I'm sure I've started a video with that multiple times, then you'll know that if the topic of Smallville gets mentioned, I will likely gush about the TV show. At least for the first 5 or so seasons. The second, I forget about the other stuff. But I was too deep into the rabbit hole. I had to see it through. And yeah, it was just such a fun show. I think starting in 2001, we followed the life and loves and turmoils of a growing Clark Kent, who I think was meant to be 14 in the first series, even though Tom Welling was like 21, 22. Okay. But he was young and he was developing his superpowers, which caused a great deal of issues. He was in love with Lana Lang, but Lana was dating Whitney. And so his best friend Chloe, who he used to turn to, was actually in love with him. And so she'd constantly be hurt as he vented his frustrations at his relationship or lack of with Lana. And then when it always looked like Chloe and Clark might just get together, something would always come and divide them because it just wasn't meant to be. Chloe Sullivan was the tragic character of the series, shall we say, until the later seasons where they marry her off and kill her husband and then marry her off again. Anywho, Allison Mack's character of Chloe Sullivan was a brand new character. All the other characters were established, you know, Ma and Pa Kent, Clark Kent, Lana Lang, Lex Luthor. These were all established characters, but Chloe was new, and she fast became a fan favorite. Allison Mack, who played her, I'm on this side, so I'm doing this now, was she came across as very sweet, very charming. She's very pretty, and you felt for her. You felt for her because you really kind of wanted something good to happen to her, even though you knew it was never going to be, because as soon as Lana Lang was out the picture, in came, of course, Lois Lane, who would be the true love of Clark's life. In reality, though, things weren't quite as they seemed with the actress. You'll notice that whenever there's a Smallville panel in a convention, there will be one person who was conspicuously absent, which is Allison Mack. And one of the reasons for, well, the main reason I should really say for that, and I've been following this story for years now, because this is crazy, is during her time recording Smallville, Allison Mack got involved in a self-improvement, self-help organization who called itself NXIVM. And for a short period of time, so was Christian Crook, who played Lana Lang. But Allison Mack went full throttle with this, and it actually turned out that this self-help organization was actually a front for a sex cult. Yes, and the members were either all female apart from the cult leader, Kale Surprise, or it was predominantly, vastly predominantly female. But Allison Mack threw herself into this and rose to essentially becoming the cult leader's right-hand woman. And she would recruit women to this organization, and all kinds of weird shenanigans ensued as reports came out that they branded the females in their area with the initials of the cult leader, essentially making them property of him. This got crazier and crazier. The organization Kel Surprise started to become under investigation from the Men in Black or Star Wars or something, and they ended up going on the run. They ended up going on the run to Mexico where I think they're eventually picked up, arrested, and I don't know if there's some sort of extradition treaty back to the US, but they ended up back in the US. Now, I believe it was at that time that Allison Mack brokered a deal with the authorities, and she turned over information about the cult leader in return for a lighter sentence. Now, I will say right now that last year, the cult leader, a chap called Keith Raniere, was jailed for 120 years for his part in this organization. Let's have a look at the headline here. Let's stroll up. NXIVM cult actress Allison Mack sentenced to 3 years in prison. I don't think she knows how lucky she is. And by the way, this is 3 years in prison. If you know, of course, about Nerdrotic, Gary from Nerdrotic, he served a 3-year sentence in prison in the early 90s. He wouldn't wish that on anyone. He says he'd never ever want to go back. This, after the cult leaders received 120 years, I don't think she can count her lucky stars about how well she's got off here. And, she might be out sooner. Good behavior, I don't know. I don't know if there's any caveats involved in that. But she has received a 3-year prison sentence. So let's go into some of the details. US actress Allison Mack has been sentenced to 3 years in prison for her role in the NXIVM sex cult. By the way, this comes from the fake BBC, unlike, of course, the real BBC, which is every Tuesday, 6 p.m. UK time, 10 a.m. Pacific time, alternating between Nerdrotic and my channel this week or coming week. It's going to be okay. The 38-year-old admitted racketeering and conspiracy charges in April 2019 related to her efforts to recruit women. Last year, cult leader Keith Raniere was handed a 120-year prison sentence for multiple crimes, including forcing women to be his coitus Boba Fett starship. In a letter before sentencing, Mack begged forgiveness from her victims. The letter, addressed to those who have been harmed by my actions, was filed to the court by her lawyers, who requested that she face no prison time for her crimes. I threw myself into the teachings of Keith Raniere with everything I had, she wrote. I believed wholeheartedly that his mentorship was leading me to a better, more enlightened version of myself. Through bonking. This was the biggest mistake and regret of my life, Mack continued. I am sorry to those of you I brought into NXIVM. I am sorry I ever exposed you to the nefarious and emotionally abusive schemes of a twisted man, she added. Mack, best known for her role in Smallville, yada yada yada, fled to Mexico with the group's leader as authorities began closing in on them in 2018. So what is NXIVM? Or NXIVM? It's a group that started in 1998 as a self-help program and says that it's worked with more than 16,000 people. And this guy has probably plowed the vast majority of those, including son of a former Mexican president and Hollywood actress such as Mack, or actresses such as Mack. As I said, Kristen Crook, who played Lana Lang, was briefly involved in the organization. Catherine Oxenberg, who used to be in Dynasty, or Dynasty, whichever you prefer. Her daughter was brought into this organization as well. Despite its tagline of working to build a better world, one Vagu at a time, its leader, Keith Raniere, was found guilty of overseeing a Boba Fett starship and master system within the group. How was Mack involved? Raniere was at the top of this structure and the only man. But Mack served as one of his top female deputies. Female recruits were allegedly branded with his initials and expected to have the love sexy time with him as part of the system. As part of her effort to cooperate with investigators, Mack provided them with audio recordings of Raniere discussing one branding ritual. In a ABC News interview on Wednesday, one of Mack's victims said she served Raniere as the most charismatic co-leader anyone could ask for. She, referring to Allison Mack, dehumanized people. She was inhumane, says India Oxenberg, who's the daughter of Catherine Oxenberg. This is just absolute insanity. I believe Allison Mack now is like going through catering college or something along those kind of lines. She married if you watch Battlestar Galactica in the noughties as well, she married the Chief's wife, the person who played the Chief's wife in that series, and people think that has something to do with trying to create a system where she couldn't be extradited from or to get some sort of like card, green card. I don't know. The whole thing is so absolutely crazy beyond belief. But Allison Mack, aka the sweetest of sweet, friend to the end, Chloe Sullivan, has finally, as they say, been jailed for 3 years for her involvement in the cult. Bonkers stuff, folks. Holly weird? You betcha. Hope you enjoyed the vid. If you did, do give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to the channel. Follow me on social media and YouTube for live streaming. Links are in the description box down below. I'll be back with some more stuff very soon. You take care. Bye for now.